What if that public charger is quietly reading your car's secrets or worse, handing the keys to a hacker? Today, we unmask the attack vectors hiding inside EV charging, man in the middle tricks that can intercept vehicle data, rogue chargers that can inject malware or steal info, and supply chain weak links that let attackers plant backdoors before hardware even ships. I'll give you real numbers, real incidents, and practical steps to protect your car because this isn't sci fi, it's happening now. Hello everyone, I'm Shayan, an engineer specialized in electric vehicle development. Man in the middle, how a charging session can be intercepted. When your car and charger handshake, they exchange authentication, billing, and telemetry standards like ISO 15118 try to secure that channel. But researchers and authorities have shown gaps. Recent advisories like CISA and CVE reports highlight a Slack or ISO 15118 man-in-the-middle weakness that lets the attacker sit between car and charger and tamper with messages, altering commands, stealing bills, tokens, or eavesdropping on telemetry. In short, an attacker on the line can spoof the charger or the vehicle. Why that's bad? Intercepted messages can reveal vehicle IDs, location histories, user account tokens, or allow an attacker to instruct the car to stop charging, overdraw, or expose diagnostic ports. Academic work and security demos have repeatedly shown practical sniffing and MITM attacks against charging communications. Not all charging stations are trustworthy. Rogue stations, physically tampered chargers, fake Wi Fi access points, or compromised operator server can push malicious firmware, present fake QR codes, or harvest credentials during plug and charge and payment flows. In the wild, researchers tracked incidents where network chargers were hijacked to disrupt service, and large breaches of the charging networks exposed hundreds of thousands of customers' records. One industry report noted a breach leaking 116,000 records from charging service providers. If a station's backend is weak, your session is data leak waiting to happen. A broad measurement study found only 12% of deployed chargers implemented TLS properly, meaning the vast majority left communications unauthenticated or unencrypted, making MITM and data theft trivially easier. That gap is a real and measurable risk today. Even trusted hardware can be risky if a component is backdoored. Attackers can insert malicious firmware or compromise chips at the supplier level. Reports and vendors analyses show modern EVs and charger ecosystem have complex supply chains. Compromised firmware, weak update signing, or unsecured vendor portals can deliver malware that survives updates and spread across fleets. Recent research and industry advisories stress that supply chain vulnerabilities are high impact because they scale. One infected module can touch thousands of stations or cars. The charging ecosystem connects cars, chargers, operator clouds, payment processors, and utilities. The web increases attack surface. A weak link anywhere can expose the whole chain. Attackers target the easiest path. Often unpatched chargers, exposed admin interfaces, unsecure Wi Fi, or poorly authenticated plug and charge flows. The problem is not hypothetical. Security teams and standards bodies now treat EVCS as critical infrastructure. The stake includes privacy loss, financial fraud, denial of charging services, and worst case, grid or vehicle manipulation. Real examples and numbers. You should know only about 12% of chargers analyzed in a recent security study used TLS. 88% lacked adequate encryption. That's a huge real-world exposure. Government advisories and easy 2024 to 2025 flagged Slack or ISO 15118 issues, enabling MITM attacks and showed vendors must patch fast. Industry accidents and breaches have exposed six-figure user records from charging networks, underlining the data theft angle. How an attacker could abuse these vectors. Simple stories. Man in the middle, a malicious device on the site intercepts the plug and charge exchange. It steals session tokens, uses them to bill the victims, or injects commands that corrupts diagnostics. Rogue stations. A tampered charger pushes a firmware update with a backdoor. Once inside the operator cloud, the attacker spreads to other stations or harvests user accounts. Supply chain. A compromised controller board ships with hidden code that opens a persistent remote access channel. When this is installed at many sites, the attacker later activates the channel to trigger large-scale disruptions. What the experts recommend here: use chargers that implement authenticated encrypted protocols like ISO 1518 with proper PKI or TLS, and prefer networks that show security certifications. Standards matter, but implementation must follow them. Keep firmware and software updated. Vendors patch CVEs and 1518 weaknesses. Delaying updates leaves you exposed. Operators should segment networks, require strong admin authentication, and sign firmware updates, so rogue images can't be installed. Industry guides call these baseline controls. For users, avoid unknown or suspicious public chargers. Prefer trusted networks and apps based on authentication, monitor billing statements, and enable two-factor authentication charging network accounts where possible. Treat chargers like any other internet-connected kiosk. This is the takeaway you can't unhear. The charging cable is more than a wire, it's a data channel and an internet point. If that channel is unencrypted or the station's backend is weak, attackers get a direct link into your car's session and potentially your life. The technical fixes exist: secure protocols, signed firmware, network segmentation, but the technical fixes exist: secure protocols, signed firmware, network segmentation, but adoption lags and attackers probe the weakest points first. The next major incident will involve chain failures across vendors, not long 0 days. EV charging security is an urgent, solvable risk. Man in the middle attacks, rogue stations, and supply chain compromises are real and documented. The defenses are familiar to IT teams: encryption, authentication, signed updates, and vigilant operations. For drivers, the simple moves the simple moves: use trusted networks, update apps, monitor accounts, and avoid sketchy chargers dramatically reduce your risk today. For operators and OEMs, the work is bigger: audit supply chains, fix firmware signing, and deploy PKIs for charging sessions. The ecosystem must harden. The ecosystem must harden now before attackers scale to disrupt service or still sensitive data. Want a one-page checklist to spot safe chargers and secure your account and walk through on checking chargers TLS? Click on the link in the description. Thank you.